Hi there, traders. This is Brad Gilbert with today's trading action. Right now, I sort of mentioned this yesterday that usually it's the weeks where there's not any sort of major data that we start to see a move happen. Now, last week, US CPI numbers fully factored in weak numbers. We saw a little bit of a jackknife. The dollar rallied, right? Just closing out as traders scrambled to cover short positions. The whole market was short, me included, and that got squeezed out. But the fact is, it doesn't change the fundamental outlook. And as I was saying yesterday, I think we're going to see the dollar start to move down, and we are seeing it, right? You're seeing it in action, right? And this is where one of these weeks where there isn't a huge amount to disrupt the general trends, that's when they really kick into gear. Euro, sterling, Aussie, Kiwi kicking topside, dollar CAD downside. A little bit of a flush out here in dollar yen. You're starting to see dollar Swiss go. It is on. Right? This is where you've got to pay attention. Sometimes the big economic numbers can sort of ruffle the feathers and you sort of lose track with what's going on. But the underlying fact is the numbers were weak, and that's, going to come back into the market, which it is now. And I don't see any reason for it to change at this point. If you have a look at the, obviously the daily charts, Euro looking a little bit better. Sterling's coming up to a nice resistance level, as is Aussie. Even the Kiwis playing the game. Dollar CAD has sort of just broken down a touch. I think this is where we're going to start to see. We had that retracement here in dollar Swiss and dollar yen. Now they've retraced, taken out the market, and they are ready to go downside as well. So the key from here is trying to factor in, trying to work out where to get into the trade, right? And if we're looking for some fresh momentum, well, let's have a look at the calendar today. There's not a huge amount out. Okay, so this Chinese loans, I don't even know if they know what day this is coming out, but we want to keep an eye on that. Obviously, Aussie Kiwi, that could disrupt the up move in Aussie and Kiwi. And if we're having a look here, you've got some producer prices out of Germany, the final inflation numbers out of the Eurozone. I can't see too much happening there. Really, the sort of most important or the high impacting number here that we've got coming out today is the Canadian inflation numbers. Now, I'm going to cover a live session on this, but I don't see a lot in it just at the moment. I'll do a deep dive into the CAD Crosses when it comes time to that live session. See if we can't make odds and ends out of if there's a disparity between any of the various crosses for the CAD. Right, looking at the interest rate probabilities is one area that we can come back to and sort of have a look and go, well, okay, what are the Bank of Canada doing? Well, it's 99.5% chance of a cut. That means weaker inflation numbers, just like the US inflation numbers last week. If it comes out weak, don't get suckered into a trade to the downside because it's already factored in. So, but what we might see is some sort of trade here. Obviously, the Aussie CAD's got to be a bit of a target with the RBA on hold at this point. The rest of them, well, it's going to come down to the Bank of England, right? The no change is 62%. So it's not quite a line baller, but it's pretty close to it with the Fed and the ECB due to cut rates, right? So it's one of those tricky ones. I like to look at the inflation numbers. I know that if I don't go and check out what's going on with CAD and the CAD crosses, something will pop up, right? That's where you've just got to be consistent and persistent with your analysis. Just looking at the markets as we go through the day. Okay, dollar weakness for me is the key theme, right? And but if you look at the equity markets, like the Nasdaq's had a really good day here, right? A bit of an upward sort of bias sort of day. You look at the just at the moment as we come through into the Asian session, the markets have just been reset. So you need to wait for the paint to dry before we start to see if there's a clear risk-off sentiment in the majors. The US Treasuries don't look like they've moved, right? So that is static, and that's like normal markets, to be honest. So you know what? With the US equity futures going up, I would expect Euro, Sterling, Aussie, Kiwi to be going up. It may just take a little bit of time for the Asian market to embrace that, and then we see it go from there. And as I mentioned, as we go into trading in the North America session, it's going to come down to the loonie, the CAD and the CAD crosses, where we might find a diamond in the rough. I'm not expecting too much from it, But as I said, it's well worth checking out. And as I said, the traders who have got access to the live trading and coaching will have the links to join that live trading session. All right, guys, this may not be exciting for you, but I can tell you, starting to see the fundamentals filtering through into the technical side of things, this is exciting because it now adds value to what's going on. If we start to see, like, this is where the second tier, third tier numbers come into play. If we start to see weakness in the US numbers, right, you're going to see these trends are slowly marching 20, 30, 40 points a day. And you know what? If you're not sort of looking for a way to get in, it'll be a week's time. These things will be 200 points higher and you've done nothing, right? So that's something else to sort of think about. I really think dollar yen and dollar Swiss will be the big movers as we get going. All right, guys, that's it from me. Have a good day. All the best. Cheerio.